Today is Friday, January 12th. Flex Friday on Prize Picks. Any flex $20 is protected, so it's a free roll. It's the only day I recommend to do a 6-man. Quick recap of yesterday. It was a weird day for NBA. Boston Celtics and that Bucks game was garbage. The Lakers did not show up either. A lot of the stars, I have no idea what happened yesterday in the NBA. But it was just a weird day overall. Luckily, on that 2-man we had on our Ladder Day Challenge, got rebooted with Jason Tatum. On our 5-man slate, we had 3 pushes and a win, which brought it down to a 2. So we ended up losing that slip. But we had 3 pushes. It was a weird day in NBA all throughout. Hopefully, we can bounce back today. We do have that free roll today. Some of you may have had that protected play yesterday, so you guys didn't really hurt much. You probably broke all even, as I did. But let's get started. I'm going to provide my top 2 and my 6-man flex. So you guys can choose from mix and match or pick whatever you guys want at your discretion. My top pick for today, it's going to be Keegan Murray. And for him, all props are in play. Points, rebounds, PRA. I'm going to be taking his fantasy at 28. Been average in the mid-30s. Going against Philly. Joel Embiid is out. So I think Keegan Murray will be in his average around mid-30s. We'll be taking the over on that. You can also look at his points, assists, points and rebounds. Most of his props are in play. And I'm going to be pairing it up with Kobe White himself. And I'm going to be taking his fantasy at 35. He's been averaging well over 40. Even with Zach LaVine back in the lineup, he's still getting his fantasy score over 40. Going against the Warriors are not what they used to be. So Kobe White should get this at 35. You can get that almost on points alone, as he's been averaging between 25 and 28 points in the past 6 games. So you can see his past fantasy scores. He's been trending back up. So I'll be taking that as my top 2 day 1 ladder day challenge. Let's head on to the 6-man I have, and we're going to go to NBA first half. And sure enough, with Keegan Murray as my top pick, he's going to be my top pick for my 6-man. But I'll be taking his first half at 14.5. Been averaging close to 20. Going against Philly, Joel Embiid is out, like I mentioned. So I'm going to be taking his first half. He had a almost 35 against Charlotte, 24 against Detroit. He did have a stinker against the Pelicans, but he does usually well. He is a fast starter. So I'll be taking Keegan Murray's first half fantasy, and I'm going to be pairing it, or actually I'm going to be pairing it with another first half fantasy. And for that, I'm going to go with Bojan Bogdanovic. He's also a fast starter. Should be a good game against Houston. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it should be competitive. So I'll take Bojan at 14.5. He's been averaging close to 20 in the first half. So I'll be taking the first half fantasy score over. So let's head on over to full game props. And my third leg I'm going to go with is Bruce Brown. Big reason for that, I'll be taking his fantasy score at 25.5 is because Tyrese Halliburton is out of the lineup. So Bruce Brown should get plenty of opportunities to score. You can also look at his points. I think he's going to go well over his points as well, his PRA. But I like his fantasy score. As you can see, last game without Tyrese, he had a 41 spot against Washington. He's probably going to regress from that, but he should have well over 30. Last time he did face against Atlanta was at 21.6, and that was with Tyrese in the lineup. So he's without him, so he should get that 25.5 clear. So that's a big reason why I'll be taking him my third leg. Fourth one is Tobias Harris. Like I mentioned, Joel Embiid is out, so Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey will be the go-to guys. Tyrese Maxey's fantasy score is a little bit too inflated for me, and using the tool that I use, Daily Grind Fantasy, actually has Tyrese Maxey under. So I'm at 50-50, so I'm just going to avoid Tyrese Maxey, and I'm going to go with Tobias Harris fantasy score. It's more respectable at 37.5. It's usually average of over 40. Going against Sacramento should be a competitive game, but at 37.5, I like Tobias Harris fantasy. Last game without Joel Embiid, he had 52 against Atlanta. I think he's going to have in the mid-40s against Sacramento. So I'll be taking Tobias Harris over fantasy. Tyrese Maxey is in play, but I'm just going to stay away from him. Just too high for me. Fifth leg I'm going is Jordan Clarkson. He's been cashing for us the past 2 games. And I'm going to be taking his fantasy score at 30. It hasn't been changed. Last time we did take him at 30, he did cash for us. Went against Toronto. He should easily go over 30 on this one. He can get this on points alone if he has a good shooting night. But I'll be taking the over. It's usually average about 3 or 4 assists. Same with rebounds, 3 or 4. So I'll be taking this fantasy score over. And my last leg for this 6-man, going with Kobe White. You can take his fantasy score, but I'm going to be taking his points and rebounds in this one. He is at 25.5, been averaging close to 30. His points and assists is another option. Obviously his fantasy score, I like another one with his points. I did have another slip with his points alone only. For this one, we take points and rebounds. He can do this on points alone. When I check his past 5, gone over 4. Those past 5 been averaging close to 30. Going against Golden State, you should easily clear this. So those are my top 6 for Flex Friday. Keegan Murray and Bojan Bogdanovic over first half fantasy. You can also take Keegan Murray's full game fantasy or points. Bruce Brown over fantasy, Tobias over fantasy, Jordan over fantasy, and Kobe White either over fantasy or points and rebounds, which I have. Just wanted to have a differential for my 2-man, just in case if some of these do chalk, we still have the 2-man to rely on. So good luck, mix and match, gave you plenty of options. Please like, subscribe, comment, appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.